G'day everyone, I'm Dan, one of the programmers that works on the ProPresenter companion module, and this video is part of a series on the new ProPresenter API module. This video is about initial setup, relevant to existing users but also new users. So I'll cover a little bit about what is companion and where to get it. So Companion is a pretty powerful open source software that allows users to control multiple devices and software via the network using push button Elgato Stream Decks, but also Web GUI. And it's actually very powerful. And using the ProPresenter module, you can also control ProPresenter. Now, there is a native Stream Deck plugin that allows you to control ProPresenter as well, which is really great for simple use, but for more powerful kind of setups, that's where Companion comes in. Right, so to get the new module, you'll need the latest version of Companion, or at least a version after Companion 3.5, very recently released. And that's available from bitfocus.io/companion. And you'll be able to download it from there. You'll need to set up a free login account and log in, and then just head off to the download section and look for Companion. I suggest sticking with the stable releases, and any version after 3.5 will have the new ProPresenter API module in it. If you click that button, you get to choose the right download to suit your system. If you're a Linux user, various Macs and Windows. So I've already downloaded onto this Mac, so I will run it now. Let's have a look-see. Now, when you first run it, you'll get this pop-up window, and it's actually an Electron web-based app. And what that means is rather than having a window, they utilize, in the case of Companion, they've chosen to utilize a web user interface, a web GUI, and it's a lot more flexible in networking situations. So the window doesn't do much, basically it lets you launch the web GUI. And once that's launched, it opens up in a web browser, and now you're interacting with Companion via a web browser. Now, there will be an icon for the app running while it's running. If you're in Mac OS, it'll be up the top here in the menu bar. And when you click on it, you get a menu. You can launch that web GUI from there and do a couple of other things. And if you're a Windows user, you'll get an icon down in the bottom system tray area. And if you right click it, you'll get that same menu with the option to launch that same web GUI. And being web-based, the experience is identical on any platform, whether it be Linux, Windows, or Mac. I'll finish this video demo on my Mac, which I've set up purposely to be a brand new setup experience, so this will emulate what new users will see. First thing is you'll get this kind of configuration wizard. I'll give you a few tips. Default is fine here for getting started. That defaults are fine for getting started. If you are using ProPresenter on a Mac, you might want to enable Rosstalk now. You might care about that in the future. You may not. Not too important. We'll see. Admin GUI password, not really needed. Now you've got your settings ready to apply. Enjoy your congratulations for configuring Companion. It's now ready to use. In its present state, there are no connections set up. So you've got to add a connection from a module to control something. And there's lots of modules allowing you to control lots of things. This, of course, is about controlling ProPresenter with the ProPresenter module. So I'm going to search for ProPresenter. And just remind everybody that I've got an earlier video that speaks about why. I might put a link in that, actually. There is an older module called ProPresenter that works with older versions of ProPresenter using a reverse engineered protocol. And there is a new module called ProPresenter API that works with more current versions of ProPresenter using the officially supported API. And that's what this video series is about. So let's add that module. And you'll land on the config page. Now, before I demonstrate configuring the module and getting it working, getting started, I want to share a little secret. Did you know that the Companion module has, and this secret is not very well known even for people who've been using Companion for a long time, that the Companion modules have help files. if you click on the three dots next to the module and click on help, you'll see the documentation that us developers have tried to create for everybody. It's also available in this icon here as well. So great little tip there. Check out the help file, especially if you like reading rather than watching long boring videos. Anyway, getting connected, you will need to worry only about two settings, essentially the connection settings. You'll need to know what is the network IP address or host name of your ProPresenter computer, and what port is ProPresenter configured to listen to. And I'll give you another tip too. See this little black circle with a question mark? That will appear in all sorts of places. Keep an eye out for that, because if you rest on that, you'll get typically a useful tooltip with some more instructions, like this one that says you can find the port number that ProPresenter is listening to in the ProPresenter network settings. So that's a good tip. Let's jump into ProPresenter and open up the settings and go to network settings, and where we'll find the IP address of this computer, 192.168.1.7, and the port that ProPresenter is configured to listen to, which is editable. I've chosen 50,001. I like that. Just a random number above 1024 will do. Any number, as long as you know what it is. You can leave the default, that's there. So you'll need to put in that address, 192.168.1.7, whatever your IP address is, and whatever your port is from your settings. Now the label is optional. You could leave it default. It's probably only really useful for people who have multiple ProPresenter machines. They might want to put a useful label in: main machine, backup machine, graphics machine, whatever the case may be. The settings you really need is these network settings, and that's because the API works via the network, which means Companion does not have to run on the same machine as ProPresenter. Anywhere on the network will work fine. And that's it. There are some optional settings here and some advanced settings here, which I'll talk about in later videos. Then you just hit save. Now, if you've got your network settings right, the Companion module will be able to connect to it and be able to control it. And the status here, green tick, tells us that has worked. We've got it right. So that's a healthy connection. This is ready to go. I'll just finish by showing a few other little things. Notice this little menu here where I said you could find the help file. You can also find the log file for the ProPresenter API module. And inside there, you'll find some log information, which is not real useful for day-to-day use, but very useful for troubleshooting and sharing with the developers if you should run into any problems. And I want to point out that that is the module log, which is different than Companion's own log here in this log tab. So if a developer asks for the Companion logs, you will need to go to Connections and here and go to View Logs. And then I probably just want to finish. Oh no, let me show you another useful item here, known issues. This is the issue tracker. If you click this, it'll take you to our source code repository where we document all issues. And you can create your own issues. If you think you found a bug and you can't find it here, you might register a new issue and fill out a bug report and describe, etc., what the steps to reproduce it, and include a copy of your logs, etc. Okay. And with that, I want to finish with one recommended setting. So this is ready to go, and I'll do some videos after this, probably pointing out how to get started quickly using presets, up and running very quickly using presets. But before you do that, one recommended setting that I recommend is going into settings, going into buttons, and this setting here, show the top bar on each button. The default for that is on. And what that is if I configure a button, it will have this top bar above it, this little area that you can't put anything on. It's just informational. And every button that you configure will have those. And I'm going to recommend turning that off, mainly because in the next video when I show you the presets that we've built inside the module, they were all designed to use the full button space and not have that optional top bar on. So I'm going to recommend turning that off. And now you are fully installed and configured and ready to move on to the next video, getting up and started fast with presets.